welcome to lesson 4 of week 2. And yesterday I said we were going into support and resistance, but I realized that we have some other lessons to take before we can really grasp support and resistance. So today we are going into market sessions and their characteristics. Market section and their characteristics. I think I made int on our live session, the first one, about these live sessions: Asian, Tokyo, New York, London. So this is where we are going to really dive into it as much as possible. As always, I will try to make this lesson short and precise, because the longer they take, actually, I know that they can get tedious and boring. All right, let's get to it. So today we'll explore different Forex market sessions and how they impact trading. Remember, I told you that the Forex market is open 24 hours and for 5 days in a week, but it is not equally active at all times though. All right, so different regions of the world wake up and trade at different times, creating 4 major trading sessions with unique characteristics, and we are going to be looking at all of that in this lesson. So by the end of this lesson, you would know when to trade, because there is not, even though the market is always open, opportunities present itself more in most time and more sessions than the other, depending on the pair. You get all that. So you will know when to trade, what to expect during each sessions, and how to take advantage of market movement. All right, so number 1 is let's look at why market sessions matter. When I first started trading as well, I felt like maybe Shao is moving, I will just place my trade and whatever is ready to go, let it go. But then as I grew in this journey, I began to understand some nitty-gritty on why these trading sessions they just make life easy, because volumes will come into the market at a particular time and that is why they matter. But let's see what we have in our notes. So imagine you are selling akara, akara bean cake in Lagos. If you open your store early in the morning when people are rushing to work, you will sell a lot, But if you open in the middle of the day when people are at work, what will happen? You won't really sell much, right? So similarly, different Forex market sessions have different level of activity, volatility, and liquidity. The best time to trade depends on your strategy and the currency pair you focus on. All right, that is why it matters. And then number 2, we have the 4 major Forex trading sessions. There are 4 main trading sessions based on the financial hubs of the world. Based on the major financial hubs of the world. The number 1 is Sydney session, which in our own time, GMT, it is open at 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. for the Sydney session. Tokyo session, which is the Asian market, opens by our time 12 a.m. to 9 a.m. And then London session, which is the European market, open at 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. while the New York session, which is the New York market, opens at 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. This session overlap at certain time, creating high volatility and liquidity, which we will explore in more details. What do we mean by overlap? That means when one session is yet to close and another one is open at the same time. At those periods, there tend to be more volatility on some pairs, and let's dive into it. So let's break down each of these market sessions. We're going to discuss the characteristics of each of them. So I need you to buckle up, because this is where it gets very more interesting. So let's take the Sydney session for example. I told you it opens at 10 p.m. and it runs through to 7 a.m. GMT. That's the morning of our time. This is the quickest session with less volatility. The major players here are the major players here are Australia, New Zealand, and some part of Asia. It is best for trading Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar pairs. Anything that pairs with them tends to have some volume at this time. And then it has low liquidity, and that means that it's going to have wider spread. Remember what we talked about spread. Spread is the cost you pay to trade, right? So low liquidity, wider spread, that means it has more spread to when you trade these pairs at those times. Market wakes up slowly, waiting for Tokyo to open. So immediately the Sydney session opened by 10 p.m. Tokyo follows like after 2 hours thereabout, opens 12 a.m. and both of them will be active until Sydney closes by 7 a.m. and then Tokyo session continues to 9 a.m. So let's see what happens in Tokyo session. The first thing is that it is a major session of the day because the major players here are Japan, China, Singapore, Hong Kong. These are big countries, and the best trading pairs here are GPY. This is Japanese yen, and some of the crosses of that are USD JPY, GBP JPY, Euro JPY. It has moderate volatility but stable trend. I love Tokyo session. Most of the money I have made in the past 6 months trading is from Tokyo session because it has a stable trend. It does not tend to have a lot of liquidity swap. You get to understand all those things as you move on, but there are less noise, less manipulation in the market at this period. So if it's moving in one direction, it's moving in that direction most of the time, unlike when we're in London session and then it goes up and then it change trend and then it resume trend, all of that. But also it has less liquidity compared to London and New York. All right, so for example, if you are trading USD JPY, this session is great because the Japanese banks are active and they are creating movement in the market. All right, so that opens up, and then 2 hours before it closes, the Sydney closes, leaving it alone to run alone for like an hour before the London session now overlaps it and opens by 8 a.m. So let's look at the London session. The London session is the largest and most volatile session. Even people in America likes to wake up and trade London session. That's how crazy it is. The major players here are the UK, Germany, France, Switzerland, and the pairs to trade here, the best ones are Euro USD, GBP USD, USD, Swiss franc, CHF. That's the Swiss franc. It has high liquidity, that makes the spreads very low and faster executions. Big price movement, more trading opportunities when you are trading the London session because they actually move. Like when it start moving, it can give you like 50 pips, 100 pips that way. So if, for example, if you are trading GBP USD, the London session is ideal because London is the financial hub of Europe, right? Making GBP pair highly active. So what you would have noticed is that whenever you are trading any of this pair, the one that is open at the time of when the currency of that financial hub is active tends to have a lot of volume. All right, then lastly is the New York session. So the Tokyo closes 1 hour after London opens, and then only London runs to like 1 p.m. in the afternoon when New York too joins it. So from that time there is overlap of the two markets. All right, so the New York session is second largest session in terms of volumes. The major players here are USA and Canada. It is best for trading USD pairs like the Euro USD, GBP USD, USD JPY, and so on and so forth. One of its characteristics is that it overlapped with London session. It runs with London session that has been running will overlap this while it goes and sees the end of London session before only New York continues, right? So it tends to have more volatile trades, like it goes back and forth, a lot of volumes going on. And then when most of the times when we have what we call fundamental, remember what we talked about fundamental, when the news is coming out, it's usually the ones from America are usually the ones that causes a lot of destruction in the market, and most of them drops during New York sessions. So major news releases happens in this session most, and then it also creates big spikes in the market, big candles in the market. That means price coming in, more opportunities for us to trade and even make more money. The last trade on Friday, I had good opportunities in the market, and it was during the New York session. Example is if you are trading Euro USD, the New York session is perfect because both Europe and the US are awake and creating fast market movement. All right, so overlaps, the best time to trade. Let me explain why these overlaps are the best time for us to find opportunities to trade. The most active trading periods happens when sessions overlap, meaning traders from two different regions are active at the same time. For example, number one, London and New York overlap between 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. This is the busiest and is great for major pairs. Then Tokyo and London overlap for just about 1 hour, like I said, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And this short overlap, but there is some volatility going on in there. Then the Sydney and the Tokyo overlap, which overlap from 12 a.m. to 7 a.m. is good for JPY pairs, but is low in volume. So as a beginner, the best time to trade is during the London and New York overlap, when the market is moving the most. All right, so let me give you a scenario. Let's say you're going to work by 8 a.m. right? That is about the time, if you're in Nigeria or you're in UK, that is about the time your trading session is open. You could wake up earlier, analyze your market and set your orders while you go to work, but you expect that it will start moving while you're at work. So you could, if you are working where you could not press your phone or access the laptop and you don't want to get distracted, you set your alert, and when it's break time, you open and check, and you could have easy leverage on trading that way. All right. So I hope you did yesterday's last lessons practical. I'm adding to it on your MT5. Check the market activities during different sessions. Identify the best time to trade your preferred currency pairs, which is Euro USD, for the purpose of this lesson. All right, so monitor how volatile the spreads change between those sessions. Remind me on our live session, I'm going to show you how to monitor the spread changes without having to calculate and do subtractions, and how to use the horizontal line tool or your MT5 to mark open of the your trading session, and to be able to track where volume happened the most. All right, so these are your take homes for this lesson. The Forex market is open 24 hours a day, but different sessions have different levels of activity. The London and New York sessions are the most volatile and offer here is your take home. Number one, Forex market is open 24 hours a day, but different sessions have different levels of activity. Number two, the London and New York sessions are the most volatile and offer the best trading opportunities. Number three, each session is influenced by the economics of that region, making certain currency pairs more active during specific times. And number four, the best trading opportunities happened during market overlap, especially London and New York, which is between 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. That is that for today. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.